Hello Targar friends. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for another Orc Mode workout, and you guys know the rules. For those of you who enjoy these videos, please click like down below. We have to keep the likes higher than the dislikes. And you guys who watch these every day, you clearly like the videos, just click like. We have not been keeping the likes higher than the dislikes on these vlogs this week, so I would appreciate it if you guys would click that like button down below. Today was max effort bench press day. We did close grip against 50 pounds of band tension. Went pretty decent. I didn't take it to failure. I took it to a fairly grindy lockout. Again, the bands make it hard on the lockout. And I had to assess this today because I thought it was interesting. When I did the 295, I noticed, obviously I didn't feel any tricep. I felt my chest and my delts work in the exact same way that I get from my football bar incline. I've come to realize maybe that's what I need to be focusing on more. Okay, if that's where I feel the weak link on my heaviest benches, and that nice big multi-joint movement that's very easy on my joints hits the musculature the same, I should probably make it a primary supplemental lift. The heaviest one here was 305 with 50 pounds of bands, which is decent for now. Obviously this has got to go up, but the only way these lifts are going to go up is if I keep finding kind of my ideal grip and leverages, and it seems to be pretty much close grip. Seems to be with this footing, and I have to get bigger and stronger. I've just got to keep developing the muscles involved. It got a little grindy there near the lockout against the peak band tension, but then we locked it clean and I racked it. And I decided not to make another jump. I mean, it'd been nice if I would have hit 315 against the bands today. But I have missed a lot of presses lately. I needed to walk away with a win. Something that was heavy, but I didn't miss. It was grindy. So instead of doing the flat football bar press, I went ahead and I did the incline today. And I bumped it 5 pounds. And I PR'd. So what's interesting with this lift, because I'm at a fairly shallow incline, it seems to hit my chest really hard. Now, we could argue that it's not hitting the very bottom of the chest completely. We could make that argument. But quite frankly, I feel my entire chest light up on this lift. I feel my front delts light up on this lift. And really, I only felt like my upper chest and my interior delts what really took the brunt of that benching. Right, when I started hitting it and it got hard, that's what I felt. I can build a chest off incline bench. If I do 5 sets of incline bench, pretty much limit sets every 2 days, that's 15 to 20 sets of incline a week. And factoring in that the max benching does hit upper threshold fibers and it does count towards your volume, I think my chest will grow off this, my whole chest. And it's not like I'm running a super steep incline. And I feel this deep through my whole chest and my interior delts. Arguably, the incline bench could be possibly the best interior delt exercise. It might, in some cases, be the overhead press. Now, we're going to do overhead press. But I decided, you know what, let me use kind of my overhead press days for bench. Because that's the muscles I'm feeling. Those are my weak links. And it's not like it isn't building my whole chest. I need the lifts that are going to give me the most bang for my buck. Right? I've got a long way to go in bringing up my bench. It's so far behind my squat and deadlift. So far behind. People say, well, how far behind? If you look on strength and conditioning charts, for my bench press to be equal to my squat and my deadlift in terms of level of advancement, it's got to be like 380, 390. I have to be close to a 400-pound bench for it to be equal. Okay? That's how high my squat and my deadlift are. So, again, that's why we're prioritizing upper body work, pressing movements in general right now. They're taking a slightly higher priority in my training on a weekly basis. But, you know what? This was good. I PR'd, and I had no shoulder pain. I didn't get any shoulder inflammation of any type or any discomfort till I got to my tricep exercise, ironically, which tells me I'm going too heavy on it. Because we threw 5 more pounds on this today, and I got to the last set. I just did 10s and with a pause on each rep. I went ahead and took the last set out, and I got like 13 reps. And then paused the last one. Okay, I can keep increasing this. I need to micro load it from here. I need to go ahead and just put a microplate on. keep doing 10s, and then we get to the last set, and then take it further out, because that's going to be my judge of if I need to increase weight. I don't want to hit failure on these. I want these to be close to limit sets, but I'm obviously not there when I can rep out that many on a 5th set. Or I just need to load it more aggressively. I mean, we could argue at this point I should just bump it 5 more pounds. Honestly, I probably should. I think I will. Let's just get it to where we only have 1 rep in reserve, because we're pretty much there. And I need to think about something with my tricep work too, because the incline and overhead press work, I'm trying to stay close to 10. I can let my reps go higher on triceps and quit focusing on tension, because I started to do that the last couple workouts and I'm seeing some negatives from it, and I feel like I'm compromising range of motion and form a hair. I need to just drop the weight back down and just make sure I'm getting the full range of motion on it. We'll talk about that in a minute. The incline, I mean, that was pretty much a rep PR there with that. The axle bar press, I took it up to 135 today. And no one ever knows what I have on here because they don't see the small plates on the side from this angle. I'm sorry, guys. But I've been slowly working it up, because that's a 30-pound bar. The axle bar is only 30 pounds. So when you see just the 45s on, it's only 120 pounds. I have 135 on today. And the first 3 sets, I was going to do the same thing as the incline, but I did the first 3 sets and I did 10. Fairly challenging, but not super hard. And I've only done 5 by 10 with my other 2 bars on this. Okay, I haven't exceeded that with 135 with either the football bar or the straight bar. And this bar is slightly more awkward than the straight bar. So I did that, and then I thought I was on the last set, so I'm like, let me see if I can take it out. And I ran over and put the footage on the computer and realized it was only 4 sets. So I had to come back and do another set. So the 4th set I did 13. I was going to try to do the same thing I did on the incline, just to kind of estimate how much weight I need to add to be in my ideal rep range. I got 13 on the 4th set, right? And then I thought it was the last set, and I came back and I cranked out 12 with the last set. So I'm now stronger on this than I was with the straight bar or the football bar with the same weight, because I can do more total reps. Right, that's good. So I need to micro load this one. I'm not going to do 5-pound jumps. I need to go ahead and add the micro plates, fractional plates, bump it 2.5 pounds, take it up. Because what sort of lifts are we targeting? Ideally, I'd like to be incline benching 225 for my 10 rep sets. Right, that was 200 a day. 135 here on this. Realistically, I'd like to get to maybe 155 for sets of 10 for my 10 rep sets. And I think those are good targets to aim for. And yeah, I'm going to make all this my primary stuff, because you know what? I'm close grip benching. I'm so much better at close grip benching than wide grip, despite of chest work, other stuff. Incline will build my chest. I need to just overdevelop my delts and my triceps. Alright, if I'm going to mess with close grip bench more, obviously my chest needs to grow. But I feel like the incline's doing a good job. I feel like my chest is growing. And the fact that the incline's going up tells me it probably is growing. So again, we're going to focus on these variations of the incline and overhead press with the different bars. We'll adjust bars as necessary. I want to really push these up. And I don't mean 1 rep maxes, I mean volume maxes, my 10 rep maxes. Get those up. Now, I could always test maxes on some of these. I'll probably test the axle bar for a max. Right? Might even test the incline for a max. Might be interesting just to see where it's at. Then I went to my triceps, and I bumped this 5 pounds a day because the last bump was easy. But I noticed sometimes, because of the position, the lockout kind of seems to tweak that left shoulder before that was actually been pain-free, completely no irritation for the last 2 days. I've been doing all my mobility work, the face pulls. I've pulled out any lifts that aggravate it. When I go too heavy on these seem to kind of just on the lockout when I start getting close to failure. Right? And it's because probably my form is breaking down a little bit. I'm not getting the range of motion. I'm trying to use some shoulder to change the angle near the top. All right, I need to just drop this weight back down. So what if I hit some 20 rep sets? Probably need to drop that blue and the green off the sides and just run the 25-pound plates. You know what? Do these for reps. Do them for volume. Some tricep volume is not going to hurt me. All right, it's not going to hurt me. It's probably easier on my joints. and focus on getting the longest range of motion possible, getting the deepest stretch reflex, exploding on the eccentric. So we train the triceps to explode harder. That's what I need to do. But yeah, because we need to blow my triceps up, and I need my whole tricep to grow. I need the entire thing. That's why we do this movement. This movement's easy on the elbow joints. We don't get tendonitis from it as easily. We recruit the long head. We get a stretch reflex on it, and then obviously the main movement on the way back up, the lateral and the medial head, which help the bench press the most. But that long head matters on the overhead press. And if all my overhead strength goes up, that will contribute to that closed grip bench press strength. Right? Because I've come to accept, based on this, unless something changes, I'm probably going to have to close grip and comp. I'm just always been stronger at it. Always have been. Even my highest lifts when I was younger were still closed grip. Right? My biggest benches were closed grip when I was much younger. And I was a lot stronger than I am now. I also had a lot more tricep, a lot more pec. So we just have to, again, develop those areas back up and just keep hitting that closed grip. I'm so much faster. Closed grip is more explosive for me. So really at that point, I've just got to keep that trend going and just make sure the triceps are strong enough to follow through at the top. And I think all the band and chain stuff will be the good test of that. But yeah, I need to drop the weight on these extensions, even though people are saying that's not even that much weight. What is that? I don't know. I don't remember what this bar weighs. Might be a 10-pound bar. Who knows? I don't know. But I have 32 and a half on each side, so 60. It's like 75 pounds. I'm cranking out sets of 12 to 16. But I could drop it down. That's fine. I'll drop it down to like 60. I can maintain better form, better range of motion, be more explosive. Because what do we know? We know that even with higher rep sets with lighter weight, if you are explosive, we can actually almost disregard the quality reps thing. At least that's what Knuckles' data shows. That if compensatory acceleration is there even with a 15 or 20 rep max, the quality rep theory kind of seems to slightly go out the window, doesn't it? Meaning quality rep within 5 of failure. So we just get the most out of the exercise. That's what I need to do. And this is an exercise you can explode on, because it's got that stretch overload, and then bam, you can explode up even with a light weight. So that's what I'll do. And that's easier to recover from. I don't deal with any shoulder issues. It's easier to maintain perfect form, easier to get better range of motion. So just stretch and explode, right? Instead of trying to chase tension on a smaller movement. Even though I'm getting 12 plus reps, it is at the expense of form. It's at the expense of form. Just drop it down. Put my ego aside. This is a small movement. And we did the face pulls. 5 sets to failure. And I'm using the next band up just like I started doing. And I'm starting to get up towards 20 reps on this too. Now that I've gone to the heavier band. So I'm going to focus more and more on squeezing and holding at the top. Squeezing and holding at the top. So that again, at peak tension, we're getting that work in. Because with bands, I mean, we're only getting partial work at the bottom. The real work is when the band is pulled tight. And that's also incidentally where the face pull has the most benefit for us anyways. Right? It's not like I'm doing these for my biceps. We're working the parts of the shoulder we want to work on the back half anyways. They're getting minimal work at the start. And because it's band tension, we're not even really getting the bicep involvement we would get if it was with a free weight type exercise with the same movement pattern bent over or something. So not a big deal. It does what we need it to do. Oh no, we're not getting bicep, but I do 15 to 20 sets of curls every week anyways. I think face pulls matter. They really don't contribute enough to matter. So don't care. We don't care about that bottom part. We're just doing the full range of motion to make sure we do it. So that it's dynamic in nature, and we're not just doing an isometric. But yeah, so we'll focus a lot more on that peak isometric with it. Be one of the only exercises I do that on. But it's one of the exercises that we benefit from. And this develops the rest of the shoulder. Now, the overhead press standing with a barbell does work. All 3 heads of the delt. It's just there's much more focus on the front delt, and the rear head is so minimal that you can't even count it. And actually, I had someone ask me about that in my comments this morning. They're like, what about someone putting a band over on the overhead press? I saw this one guy on bar bend. It's like, no, that's a bad idea. Just so you can get more rear delt. Why? Just train your rear delts. You're risking shoulder injury. The bar already tries to pull forward on you on a heavy overhead press. Why would you want to make that worse? Just trying to work the rear head. Just do some face pulls or some rear delt flies and be done with it. We don't need to reinvent the wheel there. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We've already got stuff like different bars and everything else we can do. We don't need to overcomplicate the press, especially with something that could, in theory, injure your shoulder. But face pulls obviously felt good. Really felt them light the posterior and medial head of my deltoids, which is what we want. We're getting that volume in there, making sure that we are completely developing all three heads of the deltoid, which we need for stability and strength. But good workout. So I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.